Surveys and questionnaires. We very often use this means of elicitation in order to come up with information from a number of people. Perhaps we don't have the luxury of performing interviews or conducting requirements workshops due to various reasons. Cost could be one of them, distance is another. Perhaps we have an issue of having too little time to complete the elicitation. Maybe we decide that a survey or a questionnaire is the most efficient way of collecting requirements. Whatever. There are two techniques that I'm sure you've been exposed to at some time. So how are they comprised? A survey is either conducted in writing or is performed verbally. And usually you present the participants with various statements and you ask them whether they agree or disagree. The scale can be either from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, with 1 usually denoting disagreement and the 5 or 10 signaling complete agreement. Needless to say, you need to make sure that the participants understand the differences between various numbers. Of course, this is not the only method that you have at your disposal. It all depends on what your objectives are. Here are some of the others, right? Closed questions. Certainly the example I just gave with the participants ranking between 1 and 5 or 1 and 10 is a good one to describe a closed question. The answers are very clear and easily measurable. You can take such approach and even deploy yes or no choices. Again, another example of closed questions. Another possibility is to pose open questions. They allow for the participants to provide you with more detail. Of course, such responses are difficult to measure and virtually impossible to quantify. So it really depends on your objectives in deciding which approach works best for you. Here are some other tips that you might want to consider when deploying this technique. You want to ensure that you achieve the results that you're looking for, so this requires preparation. You want to ask these questions. Number 1, what is the purpose? What am I trying to achieve? Number 2, what is the target audience who will give me the answers I need? Number 3, what type of survey will get me the correct answers? How many people do I need to include to make this exercise worthwhile would be number 4. When I enlarge the group, does it improve the results? Number 5 would be, how will I conduct the survey? Written, oral, both? How exact should the response be? Do I run the survey in conjunction with other elicitation methods? What kind of interception do I have between the various methods? How do I validate these findings? Perhaps some follow-up interviews might be useful. In addition to that of what I just mentioned, you need to validate that the questions you're putting together will get you the results that you're looking for. If you wait till the time of the survey to see if the questions are worthwhile, the whole exercise may end up being a waste of time. So you make sure that you want that to happen, right? So make sure you've performed due diligence, okay? Look for people to play the dummy test for you. A dummy test allows for obvious content errors to appear quickly. The reasons we don't see them is because we're too close to the material. Very simple. You just need to pick out someone who has no previous exposure to the material. These types of people will find your mistakes very quickly because they're not tied to the material as mentioned. So try it out. Let's go ahead and assume that we've done everything right and we're ready to conduct the survey. What happens then? Well, we execute the survey in a format or formats planned and collect the data. After the survey is completed, it's important to ensure that you put together proper documentation. The methods you use here will again be dependent on what specific methods you have chosen. So now you have a compact description of surveys and questionnaires. Just another means of elicitation you have within your business analysis arsenal. Thanks for stopping by.